Do not live with your parents after you graduate college. Don't do it. You're not going to save any money. You're just going to be broke and be sad at home. You're not going to pay off your student loans. Just go and live with your friends and have fun and be broke somewhere else. Don't be like me. Go, have fun, live your life, and don't live with your parents.
Johnny Lechner attended the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater from 1994 until 2009, often referred to as the Perpetual student. That's 15 years. When the Waukesha native entered UW-Whitewater as a freshman, he thought he'd be gone in 4 years like most of his classmates. But the availability of young women, parties, and other campus activities proved difficult to give up. Before he knew it, a decade had passed. Johnny Lechner, you are my hero.
How did he afford that? That's what I want to know.
Most people can't afford 4 years of college. How do you afford 15 years of college?
He must have had a great job or a lot of money, maybe bartender, stripper. I don't know.
One thing is the college implemented a law after he graduated called the Johnny Lechner Law. And what that turned out to be is any student that did an extended period of college after he left was going to be doubled the tuition.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Give other people a chance.
Let's face it. I mean, kids even said they started to get sick of seeing him around campus.
I bet.
Kind of weird when you're 30.
Someone like lurking just all the time.
When you're 30, hanging out with 20-year-olds that are just getting in. Yeah, that's a little strange. But you know what that talks about? It really gets into the fact that these kids don't want to leave because college is such a fun atmosphere. And we got to witness that firsthand this weekend.
Yes. Well, first of all, our daughter, she and her friends moved into a house junior year. And I think week one of them went down the steps and all of a sudden there was a girl on their couch that they didn't know. And she was the girl that lived there the year before and she didn't want to leave.
They had to end up changing the locks on the door because she said, I don't want to go back and live at home with my parents and I can't afford an apartment. Can't I just stay on the couch?
They should have let her and charged her. They could have made some money.
Yeah, you're right. They could have.
Not good salespeople.
But that's incredible how college just makes that atmosphere so much fun now. I mean, you go to class once a day, you have cafeteria, you can go get your food or get money from your parents if you need it. And then you're just partying all night. I mean, that's a fun atmosphere. And I'm not sure it totally prepares you for what's out there in the real world.
There are some kids that work full-time or almost full-time and they take a full load and they're trying to enjoy college life. That's tough.
It is. Now, this weekend, we got to go to her graduation. And afterwards, her house had a graduation party for the kids and all the parents. And that was a good time. And I can see that atmosphere. I wouldn't want to leave it.
Well, you did a keg stand for the first time.
Yeah,
you are my hero.
That keg stand was interesting. The first time they put that nozzle in my mouth, the beer spit out everywhere. I wasn't kind of used to that. But once I got that swallowing technique down, I was killing it, nailed it. Yeah, I think I was up there on that keg for like at least 15 seconds.
The best part was Lily yelling, "Put him down, put him down."
Yeah, I think she thought I was going to get hurt or something.
Yes. Definitely. You had like guys that were strong lifting you up.
Yeah. How many? How many guys?
Maybe like 2.
Yeah. I'm 120 pounds.
Right.
How strong could they have been?
Well, you're right.
It wasn't like they had to lift a whole lot over the keg. That's for sure. But that college life is fun life and it's very hard to leave. But guess what? At some point, reality is going to set in for these kids and it's time to go out in the real world. And the real world's not that easy.
It's not at all. A lot of times they're getting ready to come home and they may not have jobs and they went to school expecting to come out to get a good job. And that may be not right now. It might be in a little bit. So
yeah,
they have to really get through that in their minds. They have to accept just something right now.
A lot of these kids are graduating with degrees, but they're getting jobs that they didn't even have to get a bachelor's to go to college. They're finding that the jobs out there, they didn't even need a degree for. That's how difficult it is. And a lot of these jobs are lower paying. And guess what? When you leave college, you're going to have some big debt. The average debt is $36,000.
That's insane.
That they're going to carry around with them. And that's average. And then just to get an apartment in the United States, the average apartment cost $1,800 a month.
I think when we had an apartment, I mean, it was not outrageous like it is now, but I remember we sacrificed. We had an apartment and they were crappy apartments in terrible areas. And I remember there were bar fights where we lived
Yeah.
on, like, at our first apartment.
People would walk down the street after a night of drinking and they'd walk in our door if we forgot to lock it. I remember having to escort people out. But those are the living conditions that
And
we
we also
had.
didn't eat out. We didn't do elaborate things
No.
for like our first 30 years. I think we were pretty low key.
Yeah, no, we were. But this is the reality these kids are facing. And parents have to realize this too. Most likely, your kids are going to ask if they can come back home and live with you. And that's a big decision for you to make because now parents that haven't had kids have a certain lifestyle that they have to adhere to. And the one thing is, I thought this was interesting. Ages 18 to 29-year-olds, 50% are now living at home. That's worse than when it was the Great Depression.
Wow. That's a huge percentage.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
And I think a lot of parents like it. They're like, we're so excited. We're all going to be together again. This is great. It's not really for us.
Right.
But hats off to the ones that embrace it. I think it's great.
Now, Johnny Lechner was 15 years, but you know what? I think you're second in the Guinness Book of World Records for how long you attended your 2-year college.
4.5, 5 years. I'm definitely going to give him a run for his money.
And let's face it, why didn't you want to leave?
I was having fun. I love the area. Yeah.
Yes. Johnny Lechner, that's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it. Kids are having a lot of fun. Now, I didn't get to experience the college. I didn't get to have the Greek life. I went to school later. I was living with you at the time. We were saving money because we were able to split the rent. But I didn't get that fun atmosphere on campus. And I kind of feel like I regret that. But there was a little incident that happened. I was all ready to go to college and spend 4 years and get my degree. But my roommate who was coming with me, he was a high school buddy of mine. That summer, he went to Great Adventure and he ended up getting drunk, naked, and swimming in the fountain at Great Adventure. And he was arrested. So when his father found that out, his father said, I'm nixing the whole college thing. You're not doing it. Well, fast forward 30 years from now, that same kid who swam naked in the fountain is a billionaire, and he just donated an AstroTurf football field to our high school.
Wow.
Me, on the other hand, I'm a podcaster, and I've donated nothing to my high school.
I'll take the podcaster all day long.
Me, I'm going with the billionaire. All right. So kids are going to be coming back home, and this is something that parents have to get used to. And one way I'm going to do that is by drinking these.
Our Bloody Mary for today is the light and airy Bloody Mary. It's our Greek salad Bloody Mary. And this is great if you're a healthy eater. It just goes with the theme of fitness and health. And I'll let you tell about all these great, yummy, delicious.
No, it's amazing what you put together here. You put together the feta cheese. You have, oh my gosh, the English cucumber, the little Greek olives, the red pepper, the tomato, the pickled onions. This is such a great combo. You have dill and you have parsley. This makes for just a nice, light, airy Bloody Mary that tastes delicious, especially once this stuff starts falling into the bloody.
I almost think it's a nice centerpiece.
Gorgeous. Congratulations, Lily. We're so proud of you. Now go get a job. Mom and I moved, and we're not giving you the new address. Love you, honey.
Ma. That was our graduation message to our daughter.
Yeah, that was a little video that we put together on graduation day at her graduation. And again, we've gotten a lot of views on that video. And I think the reason for that is parents are now thinking about that situation. And I wanted to come up with some pros and cons. And I'll tell you what one woman did. You know, one woman built a tiny house in her backyard and wouldn't let her daughter move into the main house. She had to live in that house. So that was one way that she handled it. Do we have any sheds in our backyard?
The neighbor does. We could probably borrow.
Yeah, maybe we could move our daughter into one of those sheds.
Amazing. She would love that.
So I tried to come up with some pros and cons for parents. Some of the pros are, and this was really difficult, but how about bonding? Does that count?
No. Like, we bonded her whole life. Like, what is there to bond about?
Yeah, really.
Now it's just trying to figure out how to get along when you're in the house.
True. How much more bonding can we do?
Right. Like, she's not going to want to be with us after she's been with friends for 4 years.
No, and I don't blame her. How about the good
all.
Deed factor?
Yes.
It counts as a good deed that
we're
doing this.
Deed.
Yeah, because I think at a certain age, just nature in itself, the kids move on and it's time because there becomes more clashes that way.
Yeah, it's the time. It's their age, the experience, what they've been through.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in our house anyway.
No, but
And
now
she doesn't want to be.
no, she doesn't. Now, some of the cons, it really messes up the routine that we've established. We are not used to having kids back home with us, so that changes things.
Right. We're in a routine. And if we have loud music in the morning and she sleeps in, that could disrupt her.
Yeah, I feel like we're walking on eggshells around the house every time she's home because is she on her phone? We don't want to disturb her, this or
Well,
that.
we downsize. So we have a very small house. So when there's 3 or 4, it's tough, but we're going to make it work.
I think the biggest thing for me is I feel like I'm no longer a father or a husband. I'm more like a referee because the two of you seem to get into it a lot.
Yes. And I'm going to say it starts at the top. Me, I'm probably the problem because a lot of times I'm that machine gun Annie just going off with, where are you going? What are you doing? When she's like, I'm out, see ya. Because as a mother, you worry at 11, 12 at night. Are you coming home tonight? Just things that maybe won't keep me up all night.
Yeah.
I might ask, but I may ask 3 or 4 questions. So I'm really going to work on how I say things, not as machine gunnish, because I want to go with, she's an easy kid. So I want to try to go with that theme and get a little better at it. So this week I've spent quite a few appointments at doctors just trying to figure this out. And I'm going to do it. It's worth it for your kid.
Yeah, I think the only issue I really have with her coming home is when she borrows my phone charger and then she doesn't give it back and it takes me like 2 hours to find it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not that big a deal. But I can see that you versus her, I can see you always like to get up in her face and you like to know what she's doing constantly.
Right. Well, I think the issue with that is sometimes at like 2 or 3 in the morning when she visits, she'll say, Mom, come on out. I have some great stories about the bars. And she tells me, so I get excited. I wake up. So I think it's fair game just to say, Lily, tell me about blah, 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 blah. And if it's not the right time, I probably really shouldn't go there. So I ask a lot of questions. So now I'm going to let her come to me.
Yeah. Well, when you're at college, you don't care when she comes in at 2 or 3 in the morning. But when she's living at home, now you're on your phone trying to find out where her location is all because you're nervous.
Well, you're not sure if she's coming home or not.
Yeah. And that's really one of the reasons I left home originally was because my mom actually approached me and she said, look, you going out till 2 or 3 in the morning, it's really keeping your father up at night and putting a lot of stress. So I said, boom, I'm out. 19, I was out of the house.
That was nice of you.
And you were out young too.
I think we lived together right out of college. So we did it together, but maybe it was easy because we had each other. If people don't have a roommate, and a lot of Lily's roommates are continuing on. Lily has a great job waiting for her.
Yeah.
They're continuing on with their education. So they're going home to live as well. So it's hard to find roommates once you leave college.
Yeah. So what we did is we came up with some really cool guidelines here. Actually, 10 guidelines for parents who have their kids coming back home. These are things that you should implement with your child, and I think it'll make the relationship easier to live with. Now, of course, granted, there's always those families that love having their kids come home, and I know we look like we're a little mean, maybe the way we put this together, but we don't do it in a mean way. It's really time for the kids to get out on their own. But our guidelines, we start with number 1, must have a job.
Yes. Even if it's not the perfect job that you were waiting for, just grab anything at this point. Even if you're babysitting, working at Wawa, whatever, there's some good opportunities at some of these places. So you'll never know the experience you'll get while you're waiting for your perfect job.
The last thing as a parent, you want to come home and see your 25-year-old son or daughter playing video games or just sprawled out on the couch, eating Doritos on their phone, watching TikTok.
Yeah, that happens in a lot of houses.
It does, but at 25 years old, you got to be out there, and that's why the must have a job is so important. Number 2, rent. Yay or nay?
I think a lot of people should choose that because it's teaching them responsibility. But we, on the other hand, are not, because if we charge rent, it'll be tough to let her live on her own and get her own place. So if we can just help with that right now, she could be out sooner.
Yeah, and this is number 3 is a one you'd think is obvious, but have your child buy their own food. Because in our case, our child's going to eat out a lot of the time and have fun doing that because they're used to that in college.
Let them contribute. That's huge.
Yeah, and they always look in our fridge, and what do they say?
You don't have any food. Like, what are you eating?
Of course we don't.
But the other thing is, if you let them contribute, even if you can afford it and say, we can cook for you every night, we can buy the food, you're helping them by having them participate.
Yeah.
Even to help cook meals if you're going to eat as a family, if you have the same work schedule.
Yeah, you're right. Now, number 4 is curfew.
Yes. So the 2, 3, 4 in the morning, it's not happening every night. But I think if they have jobs, it won't. So that should hopefully come together on its own.
Right. They'll have to get up a certain
They're
time.
used
So
to
maybe,
staying out, hanging with their friends 2, 3, 4 in the morning, getting
yeah.
up at 12, 1 or 2. So it'll be hard in this situation because her room is our podcast studio. So she'll have to get up when we're ready to work.
Number 5 is chores.
Chores are a must. Even if they clean half the house or whatever it is, they have to participate. That's huge.
Yeah. And number
So that's
6.
helpful for you.
Number 6 is a good one because it goes both ways, and it has to go both ways. Number 6 is respect.
Respect is a no-brainer. We must have mutual respect for one another. And hopefully at this age, that'll happen. I think when they're younger, it happens less. So I'm thinking good thoughts on that, but that's a must.
Yeah, big time. And then number 7 is having friends over.
Yes, the friends can be, well, I don't know, because now with the kids, depending where they work, where their friends are located, I think it can't be around the clock all the time. So we're always better with going to meet our daughter and her friends, whether it's 2, 10, 15, or 20, out and doing things. When they come here, they're wonderful kids. But again, we go to bed a little early and get up early in a very small area. So that's tough. So
Well, I think kids always play that trick too. They'll be like, hey, I'm having so-and-so over. Then we walk in the door and there's 30 people.
Yes.
Oh, they had their friends and their friends and their friends. And that it gets into be a big jam. So having friends over, I think there has to be limits there. Because again, it's not a sorority house or fraternity anymore.
right. We sound awful.
Yeah, we sound really tyrannical.
You
here.
may not want to come home. There may be another option.
This may be our warning. Don't come home because this is what's going
I
to
feel
happen.
bad for her, actually.
Number 8, here's one she's going to love. Leave the bad mood at the door.
How many times do your kids come home in a bad mood? And it's so normal at this age. You get into bad moods, but we work so hard on our headspace and our attitudes and our positivity, even when things go bad. But because of their age, they're not thinking like we are. So maybe a little hello, a smile, and that's it. Go run and do your thing, but just something positive when you enter the door.
Yeah, big time. Number 9 is budget. It's important to go over a budget with your child because I don't think college does that enough. I don't think college teaches you about building up your credit score, about savings. In college, you don't have to save as much. So I think when she gets home or he gets home, it's very important to go over what a budget is, how to do your checking, how to do your savings, how much you should be putting away, because that's one way to get them out earlier. And that goes along with number 10, which is having goals.
Goals are huge. Always have your goals on paper.
Yeah, and our goal is to get our child out of the house as soon as possible and get them out in the real world and experiencing, because there are a lot of joys out there too that she probably won't find at home.
Do not live with your parents after you graduate college. Don't do it. You're not going to save any money. You're just going to be broke and be sad at home. You're not going to pay off your student loans. Just go and live with your friends and have fun and be broke somewhere else. Don't be like me. Go, have fun, live your life, and don't live with your parents.
I feel like that TikTok video was a public service announcement to kids telling them don't live at home. That's someone their age giving the reasons why not. And there are pros and cons on the child's side too. It's not just the parents, and they have some expectations about us. But as far as the kids' side, the pros I could find were, and this is the biggest one, if you live at home and you do it right, you're going to save enough money to be able to move out one day.
And if they could just think about that, once they see the checks coming in and they're budgeting and they're saving and then they're spending a little, I think they're going to start to feel really good about themselves and get a little kick in confidence. Then they're going to say, okay, the roommates come together in a few months and maybe they will get an apartment, whether it's 3, 6, 9 months. It can happen if you work on all these goals.
And I think as a parent, we do have to show our sympathy side. Most kids coming home from college, they don't really want to. They want to go out in the real world because now they've had 4 years of freedom, and coming back home, especially in our house, it seems like they're coming back home to prison.
I know. I feel bad for them. But
you have to feel some empathy.
But I think it's, especially me, not so much you, it's a time I really have to dig deep and just really shut my pie hole, listen. I have a lot of affirmations to start doing now. We have 10 days and I'm going to do this for her. It's worth it.
And listen, parents, this is something millions of us are going to be going through with this many kids living at home. We're going to be navigating this for a long time. And the one thing I can say is eventually they're going to move out.
So just remember this, whether your kids are coming home or you're the parents accepting them coming home, it's only temporary. So we may as well enjoy this time because pretty soon they'll be out, whether it's 3, 4, 10 years, and we're going to miss them. So I know I'm going to work on my mindset to be a better listener, to be kinder, to not speak as much, and to make it as pleasant as can be. It may be a lot of work, but it's worth every minute of it.
Welcome home, honey.
Ma.